What a World Cup it's been. A unique one. Some heroes left their mark and some, of course, fell by the wayside too. There were close finishes, some critiques and complaints, but many learnings and takeaways. So what were our top 5 moments or talking points from this T20 Men's World Cup? Maybe some teams will now shed the underdogs tag away, because this was one World Cup where the underdogs, or the lesser fancied teams, let's call it that, came to the party. When ICC made the decision to include 20 teams, many thought this might become a snooze fest. And yes, there were the odd lopsided contests too, but a few did punch above their weight and made this super lively. The biggest of them all, Afghanistan. They beat the likes of Australia, New Zealand to reach the World Cup semi-finals for the very first time. They collapsed a bit, but it would be a campaign to remember. And it gave us many moments to cherish and celebrate, and there were a few more, like Team USA, Team Nepal. Nepal were knocked out of the World Cup in the group stage, but their spirit showed promise and hope. They gave some big teams quite the palpitations, and USA, what a tournament it's been for them. They casually beat Pakistan and entered the Super 8s, and many of their players became household names. Yep, that brings me to the next point. Cricket in the Americas, breaking barriers and exploring uncharted territories. USA team showed a lot of promise, but US as hosts, not so much. The move was good for the sport's popularity globally, but the criticism surrounding the drop in pitches, lack of facilities, both for players and weather, along with how inept and ill-prepared some cities were, became the talking point and the highlight of the leg. That maybe the US isn't quite ready yet, and they will need a lot of infrastructure and a lot of other things in place before another mega cricket tournament like the World Cup is organized. Because as soon as Super 8 matches shifted to the West Indies, the momentum came back. We saw some high-scoring games, competitive totals, and exciting cricket. If we saw some unexpected performances, we were also on the receiving end of some of the big guns misfiring. Virat Kohli did come good in that final. He didn't have quite the exciting tournament throughout though. There was heavy reliance on Rohit, Sharma and that middle order. It wasn't just Virat Kohli. Ravindra, Jadeja faltered with bat and ball too, and not just the Indian team. The Australians failed to qualify for the knockouts because David Warner and Glenn Maxwell didn't deliver. Defending champions England did not play like one when it came down to it. Butler and his explosive team, who rather failed to convert the IPL form onto the world stage. New Zealand's World Cup campaign ended rather abruptly too. They were knocked out from the group stage as well. While it was heartbreak for some of the marquee names, a few others showed that class is surely permanent. Rohit Sharma, for one, took the onus on himself when the team needed him the most, in especially the crucial knockout matches. In probably his last World Cup, Rohit bounced back from poor form to come back strongly when it really mattered. In the absence of Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, the player of the tournament, led the attack brilliantly. He posed the biggest threat for every opposition. Australia, on the other hand, may have failed to qualify for the next stage, but it was Pat Cummins' brilliance with the ball and Travis Head's strong mentality with the bat that kept them going till they could. For South Africa, it was Quinton de Kock that carried them through the tournament with the bat. Yes, how can we talk about a World Cup and not mention Pakistan, the biggest and most disheartening moment of the World Cup? The 2009 champions faltering and surrendering. The last 7 months, we've seen Pakistan cricket fraternity crumbling. First, it was the 2023 ODI World Cup, and then now the T20 World Cup. The team is in shambles, batters misfiring, and bowlers unable to breathe fire like they once did. Just not the kind of cricketing story that we usually see from a subcontinent giant that Pakistan once was. On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost.